Welcome to the 10th episode of MedLife Mike Talk. We are your boys, Alec and Alex, and we are going to go over womp womp, another Giants loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, 20-38 as the final score. Again, another rough one. Um,
Bad rough one.
yeah, I mean,
Before we
I'm not a
start this though,
fan.
I want to say prayers up to Cam Scattaboo though. Hopefully he gets a good speedy recovery and be the same beast when he comes back next year. So, wish him all the best. I know he's back in the facility wheeling around from what I heard, so
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no. And then Malik Neighbors,
I
again,
got
some,
his
just
surgery.
some house news. Malik Neighbors got his ACL surgery. Both of them, Scattaboo and Neighbors, should be ready week one. Obviously, that's plenty of time from now till next year. But at least both those guys got surgery. And now it's on the road to recovery for both of them. Just very frustrating, overall with the game.
Pretty one sided, if you ask me. The
Yeah,
refs definitely took the Eagle side. Frustrating. Uh Obviously we're discussing before we started this podcast about the tush push, which should have been a fumble recovery. It was still a live ball. Blown whistle got blown after the fumble recovery, and then like they said, it was a forward of what was it? A
oh,
forward, which
progress.
yeah, forward
Yeah.
progress, which I call it bullshit. I think it's every single game or whatever. I feel like they're just trying to protect this stupid tush push. I don't know why. It's getting ridiculous at this point. Um, Hopefully it gets fucking banned next season. Most likely, hopefully, it will. Especially after we get screwed with it, you know.
Yeah.
And then the Darius Slayton touchdown, man, that got called back for a push off. Like, let them play, you
Yeah.
know.
Hand fighting. That's what it was.
Hand fighting. This game was one sided. It's like the Eagles paid the refs.
Yeah. I mean, it's really not good look in the NFL after all the gambling concerns that have been coming out for the NBA that's under massive investigation all over the news in the last week regarding coaches and players throwing games in the NBA. And then an underground gambling going on. I mean, it doesn't look good when the NFL has questioning officiating like that. Um, Literally the week this news breaks all over the news. So yeah, I mean the tush push. I mean that them treating that play like a goal line. The thing is, the Eagles fans can say, "Well, you got to defend it to stop it." Yeah, cool. But the referees do not know how to officiate it at all. You have linemen jumping off sides multiple times, false starting. And then you got men who are now, you can't even rule forward progress when the whistle's blown maybe 5 seconds like after the fact when Kayvon had the ball. And that would have changed the game. It would have. The game was 7-7 at that time. And if Kayvon picked up that ball, and it looks like Tay Banks would have picked it up too, but the whistle was blown as soon as Kayvon picked it up. Um, and then the play ended up not being able to be reviewed because it was reviewed with forward progress, and you can't overrule that call. So Daboll throwing the flag out there for the challenge flag was pretty irresponsible and stupid on my part. I don't understand you getting that point out, but like you knew you were not going to win that and you lost the timeout. And we were kind of discussing that, just the facts of the time management with Daboll has
Pretty
always
bad.
been questioning since he's been a coach, and it's one of the many reasons why I just don't believe Daboll should be brought back in this regime next year anyway, because his overall football antics has costed the Giants a lot of stupid penalties, uh, losing timeouts.
delay of
and
games.
getting fines now. I mean, he just got fined. It costed the Giants $200,000 alone on the fines, and he got fined $100,000, and then Scadaboo got fined $15,000 for the medical tent fiasco that happened at the Eagles game 2 weeks ago at Giants Stadium. So I know the Giants organization is not a fan from top down, is not a fan of the way Daboll handles himself on the sideline. And I'm not, it came off fiery and, having this winning attitude when he first came to New York a couple years ago, but now it's kind of getting old. And when you're putting the product you're putting out there on a consistent basis, it's pretty sad now because the losses are piling up every year. It's another season that's wasted, another season that's over already before Halloween. And now the rest of the season is just about Dart's progress. And he doesn't really have that much support around him. And that goes between Joe Shane and the depth that he has built around this team that has been pretty freaking terrible. Like we have practice squad players playing as cornerbacks in their first game against Devontae Smith and Jahad Dotson. They're lucky AJ Brown wasn't out there on Sunday because it would have been so much worse than it would have been because we have Deonte Banks, first round pick, who we traded up for. I will always emphasize that. Who we traded up for a guy that should never even gone in the first round, is an absolute bust in all levels. Then we got Evan Neal, first round pick, absolute bust. Then we got,
Hasn't even seen the field yet this season at all.
yeah, and then we
Wasting
got,
a roster spot where we can have like depth in like whatever position, and I don't know what they're doing.
yeah, and then Jalen Hyatt, they're also looking to move
Another
on from,
bust.
and also a bust. So, and these are all players that they traded draft capital for, besides Evan Neal, and have not worked out the way it's supposed to work out. And this falls on Joe Shane and the depth that we have on this team. And this is why we're continuously having this problem of not performing well in these games. And now we have a quarterback, and I could confidently say that we do have a quarterback. And I could say I'm hoping that we have a franchise quarterback, which I do think so too. And the praise that he's getting around the league now and the respect from coaches is pretty awesome to see from a Giants fan, just on the overall love that Dart has been doing. And he, as of this morning, won Rookie of the Month, and well deserving, and is on his way to possibly winning Rookie of the Year. Um, but going back to the game, one of the things I want to throw some crazy stats out there because Shane Bowen, my boy, I cannot wait until you are no longer the Giants defensive coach. That's a day that I will be celebrating. And I don't usually am happy about people losing their jobs, but this guy should have been let go last year. And for him to
Wow, let's
still
go
have a
like
job,
this week.
yeah, for the guy to still have a
Terrible,
job is insane to
terrible.
me. So I got some
He's
crazy
dead to
stats
me.
for you that you will probably be shocked about,
I
but
probably
also
won't
not
be shocked
shocked.
about, but I'm not shocked.
So the
Wow.
Giants defense under Shane Bowen under the 25 games, they've allowed 631 points, 5,448 passing yards allowed, 3,509 rushing yards allowed, and they allow 5.65 yards allowed per play, 64 sacks, 20 takeaways. Yeah, it's pretty
Wait, 64 sacks in the time that he's been
25
defense.
games. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
And then the New York Giants are the most penalized team in the NFL. 74 penalties through 8 games. This is this year alone. 633 yards allowed. That's the second most in the NFL. The defense allows the most rushing yards per carry, 5.7 yards per carry. And they surrender the third most rushing yards after play. And then they allow a touchdown on 68% of the red zone trips, sixth most in the NFL. And they have the third lowest turnover percentage of 5.7. So those stats alone are fireable offenses. And you can watch this. And, one of my best friends, he's an Eagles fan. he even says that Shane Bowen needs to kick rocks basically, and he needs to go. Like, is it's holding these players back, and yeah, it's just bad all around. From the performance to the defensive play calling. Yes, a lot of it comes down to the players have to play. It's so frustrating as a Giants fan to watch the production they're putting on this field, especially on defense specifically.
Yeah, yeah, definitely time to start searching for a new defensive coordinator for next season because I swear if they bring him back next year, I will not be a happy Giants fan. And I can probably speak for everyone that's a Giants fan.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna bring him back. It just depends, when they do it. Are they gonna do it mid-season? I don't think so because then that's Daboll's a scapegoat to use. Be like, oh well, look, the defense is bad, so like you can't fire me. Because then after that, all eyes are gonna be on Daboll. Let's say they let Shane Bowen go next week. Then all eyes are on Daboll after now. Because it's like you can't blame Shane Bowen anymore. And then you already let go what? This would be their second defensive coordinator during his time here that have been let go. And then the first one with Wink was so bad that it was one of the ugliest departures in sports. So it also doesn't make Dable look good. So again, Dable doesn't really look good from the top, from the higher up people in the Giants organization, of the way his history's been, the way he acts on the sideline. And like I said, now you throw in those fines. Those are hefty fines that the Giants organization has to pay because of his malpractice of jumping in the tent and checking in on Dart and then flipping out on the doctor. So, guy's got to control himself better on the sideline because he's making himself look like a fool. And the more he does this, the sooner he's going to be the outside looking in. And yeah, I mean, I don't think they should come back. I don't think they should have came back this year. I don't think Joe Shane and Brian Dable should have came back this year. And it's frustrating to see that we're dealing with this again. Another season, like I said, just wasted down the drain. Season's over before Halloween. And Dart's success has nothing to do with Dable having to stay. And I said that to you last episode. I think Dart will succeed with another coach, a winning coach. We need a
He's
coach in here
proven
that
that
knows
he
how to
can
win.
handle himself.
Oh, 100%. He's balling out like crazy, the kid. And with
So
nobody around him. And now he lost his best
yeah,
friend.
pretty sad, but
So
we'll see
it's,
how we can keep the momentum on the offense going. Uh, you know, I still have confidence, with Dart and his abilities, presence in the pocket, using his legs and everything. It's just a matter of fact of us playing good football and finishing games. And God, defensive wise, please play better.
yeah, it's frustrating because the one thing I've realized too with Joe Shane and his drafting, a lot of these rookies are coming on this team and they're forced to play right away. So they don't even have time to develop and really like learn the playbook and develop as a rookie. So they're just thrown in there all the time. If you look down the rookies that Joe Shane has drafted, they're immediate starting spots for them, and they shouldn't be because they should be like Marcus Bowe is a perfect example what the Giants should be doing with players. He showed promise. That's great. I'm glad, but he's a bench player right now, and he should be learning at least a year or two. And then year three, when they could plug him in and he could be a ready starter because he's learned and developed and all. That's how you should do. That's how you should develop players that are in the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh rounds. They should not be starting for your NFL team to fill spots in because you are incompetent in regards to filling spots and filling a team properly. And that's where it falls back on Joe Shane. So that's why I think Joe Shane also needs to see the door at the end of the season because the depth on this team is questionable. And you see it on the defense. We should not be looking the way we do when a cornerback goes down. And then we have our linebackers are terrible. Bobby Okereke is not a good football player. He hasn't been in the last year, and looks like he will be off the team next year too, after the season.
I
So
think it's, what is it, his last year, next year, or this year?
this year, but they were looking to ship him off last year in the offseason, this offseason, because they're not a fan. Supposedly leadership is not a fan of Bobby Okereke in the building, and felt like he was not really trying last year. So that's not a good look. And it kind of gives me the what was his name? The linebacker that he was the Pokemon guy. Can't remember his name. Hitting a blank. Um, came from the Packers that we drafted a couple years ago. We traded for it. He
Uh
he was number 41 or 54. I can't remember. Um,
oh, uh, damn it, hold on. He was my favorite. Oh, Blake Martinez.
Yeah, so how like that whole relationship ended was really ugly. I don't know if you remember that with the Giants. It ended pretty ugly. And it seems like Bobby Okereke, it's happening the same kind of story. So our linebackers are questionable from top to bottom, and we can't stop the run. We gave up almost 300 yards in this game against the Eagles, and they had no answer. The Eagles easily could have just ran on the outside the entire game, and the Giants would have had zero answer because the cornerbacks are not able to get off blocks, and then the linebackers just take terrible angles. And then don't even get me started with Tyler Nubin. Like, did you see that first play with Saquon Barkley when he his first touchdown and Tyler
Yeah,
Nubin literally just stopped in the box? And then after Saquon was gone, like you are the last player. You are a safety. You are the last player to stop a guy from getting to that next level. For you to run up to the line and then be like, oh, there he is, and he's gone. So
dusted
it's
his
like
ass.
Tyler Nubin has been really bad as a player as well. And that's another player that Joe Schoen has drafted. So it just adds to the list of players that like it's so frustrating, but it's laughable at this time because it's like Giants fans saw this last year with all these players, the coaching, that this team is not going to succeed under this regime. And now we're back to a
Square
team being 2-6. It's just frustrating. Again, like
one.
I wasn't even mad. I was upset. I was disappointed, but I wasn't even mad after the game
Oh,
because
I
it
was
was
pissed.
like,
I was pissed. I was furious.
yeah,
Furious from the defense of how we gave up that many runs, and what pissed me off the most was officiating. Eh, terrible, terrible. They literally, like, it could have been a close game if it wasn't for the what should have been a fumble, and then Slayton's push off touchdown that should have been a touchdown, but I called back. Ridiculous.
yeah. I mean, the officiating was, like I said, it was really, really bad. I mean, it's unfortunate that we can't go back in time and change things, but it's a loss. I don't think even with those plays, I think the Giants still would have lost because they just couldn't stop. They couldn't stop a cold from getting through that line. Um, they were getting through the line so easily on running wise. And then, like I said, we have players out there that were literally practice squad players that were called up on Friday and
Yeah.
going out there
Boy
doing,
Black
yeah,
got
poor
mossed.
kid. Yeah.
Poor kid got mossed.
So it's like I said, that's where it's frustrating, but it's like comical because it's like, why even put a kid out there? Like, that just says more about the GM than it does the player because it's like you don't have enough depth to even have a player out there that's not a practice squad player. So it's just like it's just insane to me. Like it's talking about it, saying it out loud is just insane. Like when he got mossed by Jahan Dotson, I was just like, whatever. Like that's literally how I reacted. I was just like, whatever. Like it's icing on the cake at this point. After the Scatterboo injury, I was really depressed about it, to be honest. That really,
Yeah,
and it upset me throughout the week, and it still does, because Dart and Scatterboo were the two reasons we were, as Giants fans, tuning in these games. Let's be real. So to lose, one of those two, and then we lost Neighbors for the year. We didn't even get to see him and Dart at all, really, at all.
yeah.
It's depressing. Like, I don't understand what we did as Giants fans or as a Giants organization to deserve this bad luck that we get. To I looked at this post the other day, and I was talking to my other best friend I was telling you about, who's an Eagles fan, Chris, and I was like, dude, I'm just depressed, and I could tell you why. And I said, every year we get a promising player or a promising superstar of some sort, and they get hurt every single year. Let's go back. Like, you can go back to the Odell day, but you can even go back to Victor Cruz, Hakeem Nicks. You go to Plexico Burris. So let's go back in time. You go Plexico, then we got Victor Cruz. We got Hakeem Nicks. People forget about that one. He got injured in a game, was out for the year, and he was never the same after that. And then Odell. Didn't play for the first 5 games of his rookie season. Don't know if you remember that either because he was hurt in the preseason. So then he came out, had a rookie all-star year, obviously. Then the guy, breaks his ankle and then tears his ACL with the
I think it was
Giants.
ACL first, right?
Yeah, ACL. Then he breaks his ankle. Um, and then you got Saquon. And then Saquon tears his ACL. Uh,
Ankle.
and then high ankle sprain that took him out, was never really saved for the rest of the year. And then Malik Neighbors. First year, we're like, oh, this is gonna be great. Second year, and guy tears his ACL early in the season. Scatterboo changes the NFL landscape, bro. You know it did. Every NFL team, every NFL page, social media was talking about this guy of just how much he changed everything with the Giants. And then he breaks his ankle. And it's just like, it's comical at this point because it's like,
Which should have been like a, if you think about it, if you look at the play, it kind of looked like a hip drop like tackle too.
yeah, I
Like,
mean, I watch the play a lot. I go back and forth. There's some angles that looks like it is. I mean, that's
but
the
it's kind of
NFL
hard to tell. I
department.
mean, I don't want to fully blame it on Vaughn, but it is a fast paced game, and shit happens. But
Yeah, it's
it's just
definitely
terrible to
difficult.
see. But yeah, I feel like I don't know what we did to deserve all this crap. I still feel like we're getting haunted from that picture, the boat picture.
I
If
hate that picture.
everyone remembers that, that's the icing on the cake, and I think that's where everything just went downhill. And I feel like we're still cursed somehow. Somehow the curse is here, and we're slowly getting there. Like it feels like we're getting there, and then there's always something that just stops it, and we're back down to where we were. And I don't know. I feel like hopefully next year will be a whole different
Yeah,
result. I see. I have really high hopes because Jackson Dart, phenomenal. That's gonna be our franchise quarterback. Cam Scatterboo will come back. I hope he's hopefully has a good year. I feel like he may get like comeback player of the year depending on how he plays. I know he's gonna play tough and but also Malik Neighbors when he comes back. It's gonna be a whole different offense. So I have really high hopes for next year. But I just hope that we finish off the season at least better than we did last season. And yeah, I
yeah. The
I just
icing,
want to get out of this this curse that I feel like that we're in.
the icing on the cake. I'm gonna say it, and you're gonna hate me for saying this. The icing on the cake that's going to happen, and I feel like it's gonna happen. I mean, maybe I don't feel like it's gonna happen, but it'll be the icing on the cake is Jackson Dart going down.
Stop. Don't even bring how dare you bring it up, bro.
Like, that's just the way things have gone. So it's like anytime we have any sort of enjoyment, and let's be real, it's the only reason we're really tuning in the rest of these games now is just to watch Jackson Dart and his development at this point. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't want to throw it out there, but that's just that's I had to say it just so it's on camera.
If
And if we have to go back to it, it's on
I'm
here.
gonna I'm gonna kill you. But if for some reason it does happen, which I will be very furious if it does. God, I really hope it doesn't happen. If this does happen, he goes down. Please, please put in Jameis Winston for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But
I think I'd rather see
that's not
Jameis
going to
Winston.
happen though. Let's knock
No,
on.
it's not going to happen. But I'm saying, like, realistically, please put in Jameis Winston.
But talking about Jackson Dart, he's the rookie of the month, and his first 5 games with the Giants have been pretty good. He has 984 yards, passing yards, 8 passing touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, 195 yards rushing, 4 rushing touchdowns, 1,179 yards total. And he has 12 total touchdowns. And that's without really any help around him. To And he's one of the best third down quarterbacks in the league since he's starting in the league. His third down conversions are special to watch. And the way he just again moves around the pocket, extends plays. And I'm gonna bring it up again. My best friend Chris, he even said, he texted me, he's like, I know you probably don't want to hear from me right now. And this was during the Eagles game at the end. He's like, dude, he's like, Jackson Dart's the guy. And he's like, now we got to deal with him like in our division. And he's like, just like Jaden Daniels. And he's like, he's worried as an Eagles fan for the next couple of years, when the Giants start building around Jackson Dart. And the hype's getting real around the league. Robert Saleh, former Jets coach, the 49ers defensive coach now that we're facing this week, he even discussed about Jackson Dart today and spoke very highly about him. So he's getting a lot of praise from players and respect from players and coaches and stuff. So I'm very excited to see, his performance at home. And he's undefeated at home as of right now as a starting quarterback, I want to say, because we've only had 2 games at home when it was the Chargers game and then the Eagles game, and they both won both. So I'm pretty sure he's undefeated at home right now. So, and this is finally coming home after these 2 road games, these tough road games that the Giants had. Um, so Alex, you had the Giants losing against the 49ers on the original schedule prediction. Um, Obviously the answer is locked, so you can't change it. But like I always like to ask your answer, do you think it is going to change, or do you think it stays the same?
uh, I think it's gonna. I'm gonna stay the same, but obviously, I would love for them to win. My only reason why is because we're still banged up defensive wise. Uh, we saw how the Eagles ran against us, and I feel like Christian McCaffrey is gonna run a train through us again. I have no confidence in Shane Bowen anymore. Um, so the only thing I really do have confidence in is the pass rush. Get to Mac Jones, stop him. Um, I have full confidence in Jackson Dart and what he can do, putting up points and all that. So I'm not going to say we're going to get blown out, but if we do lose, it's because the defense.
Fair. It's definitely fair. I had them winning this game, and I am standing on this because I do believe the Giants. I got this weird feeling when Jackson Dart was announced the starter a couple weeks ago, and I texted Alex. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna buy tickets this week. I have a feeling, one, I want to be there for history just to witness that Jackson Dart's first game, but I have a feeling they're gonna beat the Chargers. I got that feeling again today while I was driving, and I started looking at tickets. Didn't buy it, but I have that feeling again. I think the Giants are going to win this game, and I think it's going to be more than 10 points at least. 10 points minimum, but I
Okay.
think the Giants will win at least this game by 10. And obviously, I think the Giants defense will stay strong, but Jackson Dart in the offense is the main reason we win this game. And Mac Jones statistically is one of the worst quarterbacks that can handle pressures. And the Giants are great with their D line to get pressure.
Hmm. That's what
And
I'm more confident in, but the
Giants
rest, how can they run? I
defense is banged up with a lot of major injuries. And they are one of the least blitzing teams in the NFL. And Jackson Dart will have a lot of opportunities this game to spread the ball down the field to Darius Slayton, to Ray McLeod, who is probably going to get brought up on the main roster this weekend. Recent new signing, Wando Robinson, Tyrone Tracy, and then Turbo Miller might be a guy that will be brought up too, since um,
Yep.
Scatterboo is out and put on IR for the year. So I have the Giants, like I said, winning this game, and I don't think it's going to be as close as the other games I said that yeah, just the other games I said that would be close and the Giants would lose, but I think this game would be a 10 plus point win, and the Giants will still win at home, and Jackson Dart will be 3-0 at home. Something Giants fans haven't seen in a while is just wins at home. So to have two wins at home is great. But I think the Jackson Dart gets his third. It's a 1 o'clock game. Weather's going to be nice, a little chilly. But I'm pumped, as always. But the rest of the season, playoffs are down the drain. To the point, of course, there's maybe some like small percentage out there that we could do it, but there'll be a lot of hopes and prayers and a lot of just major things to happen for us to win, to even get to that point. But I don't think that's happening. I think we are just at the point where we just got to watch Dart succeed and see how many more games that we could win for this year. And then next offseason, just focus on getting more help for Dart, receivers, and just more toys for him. So, but that's about it for this episode. Thank you guys as always to for tuning in our channel all the time, watching our videos, liking, subscribing. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. We appreciate you. We love you guys. We will be back next week to discuss the Giants 49ers
Hopefully, it will be a
matchup.
win.
Hopefully, but like I said, I have the Giants winning and I think they're going to win this game. So I'm I feel really good about this one. I don't know why, but this one, like I said, I had that feeling a couple weeks ago. I had that feeling again today. So let's get this win because I'm tired of the losing. Let's get a freaking win so we can come on
Yeah.
this
Let's
freaking
not ruin my
channel.
Sunday. At least sometimes if the Giants lose, I still have some happiness when I win in fantasy. But I lost last week, which my cousin's players had no business putting up points like they did, like his kicker, his defense. I was pissed.
Yeah, well, hopefully, like I said, hopefully the Giants win and we don't have to worry about that and we have a good Sunday, but it's an early game again. And let's go Giants. That's all we can say. Let's go Giants.